And who is our typical borrower and what is their intent, with the property purchase?
Our typical borrower is going to be basically, I'd say 95% of them are full-time real estate investors.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a real estate investor can be many things. Some of them are people that buy houses, fix them up and resell them. So our money helps them leverage some of their money to accomplish that. Another branch of our borrowers are going to be people that actually they prefer rentals. So they're going to buy properties, fix them up, put renters in there. And then coming up, a market that's going to probably be a market for us, people that actually are going to construct houses. There's a lot of availability for people that own, whether it be a few lots or some parcels together in a project. And it's just, the banks make it very difficult sometimes to get financing, even for very good clients. And we just kind of found that niche, and we fit in a lot of those cases.
Well, we make practical decisions, and what's interesting, when I was invited back to speak in Washington, D.C. to Fannie Mae, and I had our loan portfolio that we had this 9% program attached to, and we had something like $20 million of perfectly current payments.
Yes.
They were astonished, and it's just, they make decisions that are very different than the way we make them. And it seems like there's always going to be a niche for the private lender because of that.
Yeah, they're just, their way of doing things. I mean, maybe they look at something and for them they consider their debt ratio to be too high. And what I mean by debt ratio, what their payments are versus what they're bringing in. But on the other hand, maybe they have all this cash. In other words, they don't look at cash as like income in a way. Well, if somebody has
protection.
Yeah, protection. If somebody has $500,000 like they're doing something in their business that's making them successful.
Plus a track record of never having missed a payment on loans before.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the important things, that when you're dealing with a broker that's as established as we are, and with the intent of a business model of always making that a more educated borrower, is that probably the most valuable thing we have is this long list of very capable borrowers that will be repeat borrowers for a long, long time.
Yeah, it would be impossible for the individual, let's say, to go out and even probably contact one of our borrowers or get lucky enough to find that client. Usually, if you're out there looking on your own, you're going to find, I kind of have a statement, you're not going to find the deal. The deal's going to find you. Mm-hmm. In other words, you might think, oh, look at here, I did this. And in actuality, that deal maybe found you because maybe that person's been shopping for a while through brokers and they've turned him down, and now he's desperate and he's just out there looking. So the perfect storm is a guy that really needs the money, so he's willing to pay whatever, and a client on his own who wants to get that high yield.
And get it placed right away.
Yeah, and they match up.
Yep.
And that can be dangerous for people that are out there trying to do that.
Yeah, 60 days later you find out, wow,
exactly,
maybe this wasn't a good idea.
Right.
Does there seem to be a lot of people interested in real estate investing, and does that seem to be never-ending, where this is going to be a growth industry?
You know, I think we can both say this. I mean, when we started you started the Norris Group, and we came with you, I think we spent several of the first years looking at each other like, geez, what are we going to do when the next phase comes?
That's right.
And here we are, 16, 17 years later, and it's amazing to me that the quality of our client, they're always finding a way to, buy houses, and that provides product for us, whether it's being REOs that we've just recently went through a lot, short sales off of private parties, construction. I just can't imagine people's desire to buy properties is ever going to go away.
No, and I think one of the things that we've really helped with in the education system that we've created is that we point forward to the next likely targeted area, to where our clients don't just sit there and go, okay, all of a sudden all the stuff that we were doing stopped working. What do we do?
Right.
They're already thinking a whole section ahead and already pre-planning. Okay, we're about to go into a building property, so they're already picking up the land and so forth, and we already have a loan program to match that when it's time.
Exactly.
And that's a very different model and a much safer way to do it than just literally going, oh, all the REOs are gone, what do we do?
Right. Yeah. What it allows us to do, and then our investors, just by being with us, we're very proactive. So as you mentioned, we're already rolling out programs for construction and starting on the construction side, because the dynamics in the market right now, even though maybe it shouldn't have been happening this quickly, they're starting to line up where it looks like construction might make sense here in the next 6 months or so. And I know on the buying side, I know they're already starting at the Norris Group, they're already starting to tackle that.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we have a huge advantage of is that approximately 40 times a month or more, we're looking at something that was a wholesale deal, and we're seeing the source of it,
Right.
and we're seeing the source gradually change.
Yes.
And we see it going from lender to short sale, from short sale to private owner,
Right.
from private owner to construction.
Right.
And that, you know, when that starts happening, you're smart as a business to say, okay, we're probably going to make a shift to where that's the dominant player 2 years from now.
Right.
And when you can teach your client base to do that in advance, then they won't have this dry spell where they just go, wow, we're going broke because we don't have anything to do.
Exactly.
So that's important.